Now we're going to get into creating an operator screen so that we can test messages. So effectively, what we're going to do in a nutshell is we're going to create 4 buttons. They're going to be cycle start, cycle stop, alarm on, and alarm off. What's going to happen is when we press these buttons, they're going to generate a message, and then we're going to be able to use that message for live screen and timers. So basically, we're showing you how you can utilize an operator screen. For example, maybe they have it at the machine, the operator presses waiting for crane, and that will send a message waiting for crane, and it's going to turn on the timer waiting for crane. It's going to change the live display so that it shows them that they're actively waiting for a crane, or if they need maintenance. If there's an issue with the machine, you press on the operator screen, they press maintenance, the live display is going to go red. It may even send a email. So there's a lot of customization that we're going to start getting into, and a lot of possibilities. So just understand that as we're doing this, we're just going to give you the basics, and then that way you can kind of have a grasp of how it works, and then hopefully you'll be able to see the possibilities start to unwind. As I said before at the beginning of all these movies, this is probably one of the sections you may have to pause. I would highly recommend you have the PowerPoint open, or at least the MDC Basic Setup Guide available to you, so that way you can follow along if things start getting moving too fast. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into our MDC-Max client. It's going to have a login page here. For this demo, you should have no password, but you can assign passwords depending on the user that you have. Our status screens right here, you'll notice there is none because we haven't created any. Our reports, where we would generate our reports. Export, if you're exporting information to a third-party application. And then setup. Setup's going to have where you do your report setup, your options for the client, which is the interface that we're looking at, how it reacts and how it displays, our system setup. This is where all of the heartbeat takes place. So you got your MDC engine. Your MDC engine, as you can see here, deals with general information in regards to your data, switches that we have that maybe we've configured with the machine, counters. So if you're going to have, if this comes on, it starts counting, as well as our timers. We're going to come back to all these in a little bit, but for now, we're going to go over to our live setup. Now, live setup is going to have status screens and operator screens. 2 different chapters, if you will think of it that way. So this is like this chapter here, and then you got this guy over here. Or 2 different groups. However you like to split it up in your head so you don't get confused. When you have your operator screens, you'll notice that we have add. We're going to give it a description of what we want to call this one. This one's going to be called our MDC test. This is going to be the name of our operator screen. There's lots of other options here. We're not going to use any of this for our demo. What I do want you to see is when I come over here to the button, up here at the top it says MDC test. If I had a second field here, for example, we come in here and we could say op panel, whoop, can't spell at all. It's embarrassing, but I have to admit it. You'll notice under button, op panel. So when you select it, it changes up here. So do make sure that you're under the right screen when you click it. So now we're going to do buttons for the MDC test screen. So let's go over here to add. Now what do we want this to be? Well, this is going to be our cycle start. Again, you'll notice this is all caps. When this button is pressed, what do we want it to say? So we come over here, we pick cycle start. We can pick what indication do we want it to be, what color we want it to be. We'll pick green just for fun. And now we're going to go add our next one. Whoops, I forgot something. Let's come back into here. Show indicator. We'll just turn it off. Come back over here. See? No alarm. No alarm. We're good. All right. Cycle stop. Cycle stop. Okay. So now we have 2 buttons. Shouldn't matter, but just for fun, that's what I'm doing there. Okay. Now, where is this? Oh, go away. You want to save this? Yes. This is going to be inside our live screen setup. So our status, operator screen. There's those 2 that we made. Remember, we're working under MDC test. Which machine do we want to look at? Let's go look at machine C. You'll notice there's the 2 buttons. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to make 2 more buttons for alarm on and alarm off. Alright, so I just got done finishing making 2 more buttons, alarm on, alarm off. I guess we can look at those real quick here. We'll hop into live setup. You'll see we now have 4 buttons. So now let's go over here to our status, operator screen. And this is inside the MDC test. In fact, while we're here, just for fun, let's go over to this guy. We're going to delete him. Click save. Now I only have the 1. Which machine are these buttons going to be working for? Let's pick machine C. And here you'll see all 4 of our buttons. Give it a couple seconds for the server and everything to come into play, and these will go black. When they're grayed out like this, they're not connected yet, and so no messages are going to be seen. Well, we're waiting for that. Let me run over here to reports. So reports has this guy called event log. Event log is going to show you all of the messages that you have coming into your system. Really great for troubleshooting when you're looking at a machine and wondering, why am I not seeing this? What's going on here? So down here in the middle, we can go and pick which machine we want, or we can look at all of them in real time up here. We're going to pick our machine. And it says the port is offline, and then went online, and it said there's a cycle stop, and then that there was an alarm off. So now, let's go back over here. We'll close this out, status. All right, so we have our messages here, or not messages, buttons. Ugh. Go over here to our event log. Now we'll look at our messages. For machine C, all we can do is we're going to pop this up to like this, go over here to our window, horizontal. Now, I'm going to hit cycle start, and look what you got. Message cycle start is now activated on machine C. Cycle stop, there's cycle stop, alarm on, alarm off. And so basically, like I said, we're simulating these 4 commands like the machine is going to send us this information. So the machine is in reality going to send us the cycle start. The MDC-Max server is going to see it and throw it over here to the MDC-Max client. But this operator button screen is going to allow us to simulate these messages. So the next thing we're going to be able to do is take this information and apply it to timers. So that way, cycle start comes on. The timer starts to count. How long am I in cycle start? Cycle stop comes, boom, it stops, and our timer starts counting. How long am I sitting here not running? And vice, just all the things that a customer might need. You start thinking, let's add this, let's do this. Here we go. And so that is how we create buttons to simulate our messages.